What is up, HMA fans? Today we have a very special episode for you coming from the HMA fantasy team. It is the continuation of the Brock Zacherl, Jude Swisher, Dysen, Gould, Jacob Hewgley extravaganza. Let it roll.
197. The story here really is Colin Moore. He's looked fantastic all year long, and we also this weight as far as it goes is actually pretty. It was a lot easier to pick. It's a little more. It goes chalk. Not as many upsets, I don't think. But
surprised Jude didn't have Rashid winning.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He hated me.
He did AA though.
He did. I did
He made
pick
it
him to
happen.
AA.
What's
Right.
he seated? He was low, right?
He's
like 21. He could have a heck of a road, but I think he can pull it out.
He definitely could.
So all right, let's I'll just go through this first round. I think it's gonna pretty much everyone's gonna win. Moore, Pagano, Norfleet, Brucky, Warner. I'm gonna take Shakur to win over Nathan Traxler. That's my big upset. And then I'm gonna get Lane and Darmstadt, Schultz, Gear, Sloan, Brunner, Aiello, Bolsek, Davison, and Adams. And that's, for the most part, aside from Shakur, zero upsets there. So,
Brock, when you said in our interview that Bolsack had a good spot, you're definitely not joking. I mean,
No,
you haven't making the finals, and that's definitely. I mean,
that's a pretty good spot.
That's definitely not that absurd. I mean,
So a second ago,
you mean he's winning it?
so when Jude a second ago tried to go 197 and nobody said anything, I'm so ticked because I had my mic muted. But I actually talked back to you, and then I was like, "Wow, they're just ignoring me. What's going on?" But I was like, "I'm so excited for 197," and that is 100% to hear Brock's breakdown of 197.
This is the reason I did this. When you said that we would be doing 97, I was like, yes, I'm in. I'm going to be on.
All right. Well, Brock, let's just give you the wheel, man. You walk us through each weight or each bout. Tell us what you think is going to happen.
This first round, I don't think I have anything too far-fetched. I think maybe Laird and his Gear an upset win. Woodley, maybe? Was he?
No.
Those might be upsets, but they're not too far-fetched. Laird had a good year. Yeah, Gear, PA kid, real tough. I've known him a long time. I see him getting a nice first-round win. I always forget that he was a PA boy. But then that second round, I have Moore beating Laird. No surprise there. I have Norfleet beating Brucky, which in Vegas, I was super impressed with Norfleet. He's a freak athlete, just a really, really diverse wrestling skill set, and just, I think, a tough problem for a brute like Brucky.
Mm-hmm.
Warner beating Traxler. I just feel like Warner was going to be prepared. He had a good year. Darmstadt, I think I love watching that kid wrestle.
Oh, man.
I just think he would be such an awkward. He'd be a tough problem or puzzle to solve. So I have him winning that match. Schultz beating Gear. Schultz is just the better wrestler at this point. Brunner beating Stallone. Is that an upset win?
No. Brunner was 6.
No way. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So that wasn't an upset win. And then Balzac beating Aiello again, and Woodley or Adams beating Woodley. So nothing too much to brag about there for that round.
Yeah, I think in the first round, the only big matchup there is for me is Traxler Rashid. And Jude and I both picked Rashid, and you guys both picked Traxler.
How can you go against your saying of Rashid sucking lollipops?
Dude,
does he actually put down his lollipop and wrestle this time, or what?
Yeah, he does.
What's the lollipop flavor of the day?
It depends. I think. Yeah, I don't know. But
Give us a Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
He goes
flavor.
Grape. He goes grape Thursday morning, butterscotch Thursday night, got lemon on that Friday morning. Friday night, he doesn't have it. He lost it. He lost it.
You have Lemon Friday morning. That's probably where he loses, wherever that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, I think that matchup is the biggest one of the first round. But it could go either way. I think we all, except for Jude, of course, have Warner winning the next match. I have more over Pagano. I have Brucky over Norfleet. I think that's another kind of toss-up match. Norfleet really could be a bracket buster here because he's had really good matches with Colin Moore. So if he could get past Brucky, he could cause problems. But I got Brucky there. I got Warner over Rashid, Darmstadt over Lane. I got Schultz over Gear. Schultz-Gear is a great match. Gear is a returning All-American that bumped up to 97 last year in AA. And so I really wanted to pick him, but Schultz has just looked so good this year. He's had really close matches with Colin Moore, whereas most people Moore is just beaten up on. And then, Bruner, I got Bullsack, and then Adams down at the bottom.
I got pretty much chalk. I believe, and then down at the bottom, I got a problem, Jude. About 251. How are you disrespecting Greg like that? He beat Aiello earlier in the year, and you're just gonna.
I think he almost majored him.
Well, I'm a big Aiello fan, and also
it was 7-4. 7-4.
I gotta pick him, otherwise I'll lose the fantasy draft.
That's
right. I remember that match now.
Is Aiello connected to Penn State in some way?
No, he's not. But I like him, and I put him on my fantasy team, and I can't let a brother go behind like that.
Well,
yeah, I can't believe you disrespect Greg.
When I saw you from Belfont, I knew you'd be a Penn State fan, man. But man, I didn't realize how
dude, it's bad.
No,
it is bad.
I'm from State College. I don't know.
It's pretty bad, dude. I mean, Brock.
I'm a Penn State fan though too. You just can't tell.
Yeah.
He's more of a Hawkeye fan.
You gotta go listen.
That's not true.
You got to go listen to our Penn State Iowa duel.
Oh, that was
holy smokes!
I will pull it out as soon as this is done.
That was fun because we just tore Jude up.
They were so.
I know it wasn't even. No, it wasn't. Wait, was Jacob? Are you talking about the one that I was on with you guys?
I think you were. Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't even the Penn State Iowa though. That was just we were talking about talking about Penn State Ohio State, but then Iowa just got pulled in and we started hammering Jude.
Are you sure? No, we definitely did a preview.
No, we didn't.
Jude ended up taking off.
Maybe I did one with Sam then.
Jude ended up getting so mad he took off his headphones.
Iowa Penn State was just me, Jude, and Sam. And so I kind of.
Yeah, you guys had a whiteboard board.
But
that was fun as heck.
Yeah, but
and Jude's picks were so absurd. He thought for Clarion was going to beat Lugo.
I did not.
Wow. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
He actually put it in the doc originally. Yes, he did. I'm here to tell you that he's lying if he says anything.
I did it, and then I
Dude, come on.
Take it off the headphones again.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so let's move on because Jude will talk about Penn State all day. So
yeah, great.
I got Moore beating Brucky. I got Warner Darmstadt is an interesting match, but I think that's one of the matches in my head. How it plays out is it's a good match. Maybe Warner's winning by a point, and then Darmstadt pins him.
Nice.
I think that's how I see that match going because Darmstadt's just a pinner, and Warner's very controlled. Kind of more on the boring side of matches. But that's definitely how I see it going. And then down at the bottom, I got Schultz over Bruner just because he's looked great this year. And then unfortunately, I have to pick Adams here. Man, Adams is like a unicorn for me picking these brackets because the dude's 32-0 and has some decent wins, but hasn't hit any of I don't think he's hit any of the guys I picked AA this year. And
oh wow, I didn't. Probably not.
I don't think so. There might be.
So, yeah.
But
I don't think there would be any.
I don't think he has. Definitely not.
I think if you're his coaches, shouldn't you want to I don't know what you can try to do to get Adams better matches. It's just his schedule.
Go to one of the big tournaments. Yeah, you got to go to Midlands or Scuffle. Scuffle wasn't that great this year, or Vegas.
Cliff Keen. He wasn't at Cliff Keen, was he?
No, I don't think West Virginia was there.
His range this year, or this bracket for me, is the dude could literally lose second round to Davison, or he could win the whole thing.
Davison is someone that I'm pretty high on it. I think he could be.
Well, that's why I said it. Yeah, Davison's good.
Just because, like, you know, he has win over like Brunner and Shakur and like top level guys who were ranked very highly, or he had wins over them early in the season, and I think that, you know, especially for a freshman, he can. Or he's a freshman, right?
Yeah, Adams. No, he's
Davison.
Sophomore, maybe.
Davison. I'm looking it up right now.
You're talking about Davison.
Yeah, Davison.
Oh, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, he's a redshirt freshman, so I'm high on him just because I think he wrestles very well. Pretty consistent guy.
Dysen. Who you got in the quarters, Dysen?
I got Chalk. I got more of a Brookie. I think Brookie could maybe pose some problems for Moore because he's just so strong. Not that Moore isn't, but I think just Brookie's just like so like farm strong. Just got and I think Moore is able to get the win. Pretty controlled win, 6-3, something like that. And then I got Darmstadt over Warner. I think Darmstadt's height and length is just gonna pose problems for Warner. And then I got Schultz over Bruner. I think they met early this year, and I'm not sure who won. I think Schultz did. But then down at the bottom.
Schultz did. I looked it up.
Bolsack and Adams. It's a really tough one, but I had to take Adams. But
you bum.
Just lost some of Brock's respect.
Okay, I will
say.
No,
you didn't.
But Pat Brookie, so Princeton came to Chapel Hill against UNC, and watching that one, that is a giant, scary man. Man, he is
he's gigantic.
He's huge. Like, I saw him, I was like, dude, if I saw that guy in a dark alley, I would just lay down and call him daddy.
Yeah.
Like,
you'd be like, all right, please.
I want no part of that. But,
did you see on Princeton's Instagram, they like recreated the scene from Vision Quest?
Yeah, that was awesome. I think it was his brother it might have been his brother CJ, but either one, both of them.
No, it was yeah. Well, no, I think it was Patrick, but he was carrying the log up and down the bleachers, and like, holy smokes, he's big. He's a big man.
Jacob, you were saying that if you saw Brookie in the back alley, you'd just lay down, but I think that's kind of what Nittany Lions do.
Don't leave that out.
I think that's kind of what Nittany Lions would do if they see the Hawkeyes coming after them.
Why? Why do we have to, dude? Can we just be friends?
No.
No.
Okay, so let's see. I have the same guys that everyone else has. It's Moore, Darmstadt, Schultz, Adams. I think these guys are, you know, especially in their positions in the bracket, these guys, there's no reason that these shouldn't be the semifinalists.
Don't say that.
Well, I'll tell you right now. So Moore, I think Moore's just. I think Moore's one of the best wrestlers at the weight. He's got great coach in Delagnev. He's going to be ready. Walk through that. Well, not walk through him, but he'll healthy decision there. Darmstadt match, I see that going exactly like what you said, Jacob. You're just never out of the water with him. You got to wrestle for 7 minutes, and you always got to be on your toes when you're wrestling him.
Yeah.
Schultz Bruner, I just think Schultz is probably a little bit better, especially at this point, and really consistent too. And I have Greg beating Adams. Greg's just he's a really tough puzzle to solve. He's got good offense. He's impossible to take down. And when he gets on top of you, you're not getting out. And when he's on top of you, you're always in threat to go into your back. So, Greg, I would never want to wrestle him, and I know no one in this weight wants to run into him. So,
you mean you don't want to go with him?
I do actually. When we play wrestle, I'll go with him.
Well, I was going to ask, how does a Greg Brock match end up?
Well, usually, see, I like going with him because I get like really, really tired, and he likes going with me because I bounce around and move a lot. So, like, it's basically I'll bounce around, get on his legs, like really struggle to score because he's heavier and stronger. But he'll usually like gift me a couple. Like, he won't throw his full weight on me. And so it's just a battle of him trying to get a hold of me while I'm like trying to bounce in on his legs, because once he gets hold of me, it's all over. But he's hard to score on too.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask that.
The season?
During the season, I was basically always 149. I could basically at any point, if you gave me like a 5-hour heads up, I could have made weight. So
do you think Greg's 200?
He was the same. Like, he would go out to eat dinner with his parents the night before weigh-ins, every like steakhouse meals and stuff.
Oh man,
he's like too.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Wait, what's that? Yeah. What's that good steakhouse in Clarion? Is it
the Roadhouse? I think it might be. They just recently changed the name. I think it might be Clarion River Roadhouse.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
It's so good. You got to go.
Yeah, I've been there. I used to go there all the time when my areas were there, but I haven't been there in a while.
Yeah.
Okay, so one final question. Greg and Brock meet in the NCAA tournament, no weight classes. Who moves on?
well, let's say that. Are we the same weight, or does Greg still have the weight advantage?
There's no weight classes.
There's no weight class. It is whatever you guys weigh today. I can already tell by that question that you don't have faith in yourself.
If we're the same weight, like theoretically, I weighed 197 pounds. I could take them because I wouldn't get taken down.
You better go check out the Roadhouse a couple times.
I'd figure a way to take him down, and then I'd just pick neutral, and he'd never get on top of me. And then maybe he might pick top, but then I'll just not get turned. So I'm a 197 pounder now.
Yeah. All right. Well,
but shots fired at Greg.
That I just want you to make sure that you record that match next time it happens, so we can see it.
If he listens to this, then no, I won't, because he's gonna rip my arms off. But if he doesn't, then I'll do it. Nice. Maybe he'll let me win.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, hey, let's do these semifinals. We have yet to complete this bracket. So, I'm taking Colin Moore over Darmstadt. It's a safe pick. But guys, like, what are the odds that Darmstadt, what if he pinned Colin Moore? What are the odds? Is that possible? 30%.
All I'm going to say is if Kyle Connell can pull it out, because he didn't pin him, or did he?
Yeah, he pinned him the first time. He pinned him the first time, then he beat him like 6-3 or something for third.
Yeah, so if Colin Moore can do it, then I have total faith that Darmstadt can do it. But I would have guessed, I would have gave Kyle Connell basically a 0% chance to pin him at the time.
Mm-hmm. No one even knew who Kyle Connell was.
That's what made it so awesome. And especially because, like, Moore has also, is not performed. I don't know. Like, everyone thought he was the kind of win that one bracket, and then he didn't. And last year, I mean, obviously he was in the finals against Bo, but I don't know. Something else about Moore that I had noticed is when he gets into like positions where his body is being moved around a lot, with him like not stopping or not being able to control it. So, for example, when he's getting thrown or things like that, he really doesn't know what to do. And Darmstadt, well, he's not as much of a thrower as Connell or anything like that, but he definitely can get into some positions that maybe Moore doesn't know what's going on. So I don't know. I could see that be a possibility, but I'm going to take the safe pick and pick Colin Moore here.
Yep. Yeah, I went back and watched their match because they actually have met up before, and it was in NCAA's 2 years ago. I went back and watched the match. It was 2 years ago, so you have to take that into account. Right. This is a completely different Colin Moore than we've seen in the past. But, Colin Moore did win that match 2 years ago, and he kind of, controlled the match the whole time. Darmstadt, it was an interesting match because they kept getting in those, like, weird Darmstadt positions where you're like, oh, crap, here comes a cradle or something wild. Right. But he just never was able to lock it up on Moore. And I, with all my heart, want to pick Darmstadt because he's one of my favorite wrestlers in college wrestling.
I was so sad when he got injured last year. Like, I was genuinely sad.
He's so much fun to watch. He really is one of my favorite. I wanted to pick him, but I think if there's a guy that deserves a national title, it might be Colin Moore. The guy's been just hanging around fighting one of the top dudes every year. and just one reason or another has fallen short, and I just kind of think it's destiny this year. And so I got more beating Darmstadt.
All right. Anyone else? Brock, Dysen?
I got more as well. I think he's just a little bit more. I think he's just more of a solid wrestler. Kind of. I think he might be able to stay out of Darmstadt's crazy positions. Kind of stay compact and like stuff like that. I think Moore gets him.
Brock, all the same.
Same. Moore's more consistent. He back to the game plan thing. He executes his game plan very well. He's going to avoid those goopy positions for the most part.
All right, and then on the bottom half, taking Noah Adams, the Unicorn, over Eric Schultz. Both. I mean,
the West Virginia Unicorn.
I just see who's stopping the Adam Shane now. He's not going to let these guys stop him. Especially.
I think the real question is who's stopping the Greg train.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, my bad, Brock. Take it away.
So Jacob, you'll know this. I think Greg might have wrestled Schultz this year at Vegas. Did you see happen to run across that? Does anyone have Russell's stat pulled up?
I haven't.
I got you.
That's the only thing I hate about sharing my screen. I hate sharing my screen.
I got you.
Look it up.
Yeah, look it up, Dysen.
I put in Bullsack and it changed and it auto-corrected it.
Two years ago, they wrestled at Vegas, and Greg was winning the match. He ended up losing on a hands to the face call. So I have no doubt in my mind that Greg can beat him. And like I said earlier, Greg is a guy that's just such a tough puzzle to solve because you have to take him down twice if you want to beat him. You have to.
They did not wrestle this year.
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
Wait, 4-2.
They did.
What?
Schultz won.
Schultz beat him 4-2 at Cliff Team.
I was looking at the wrong name. Never mind.
Clarion, we have the best coaches in the world. Greg's a very tough puzzle to solve. He's a freak athlete, strongest kid at the weight. At signed Patrick Brucky, and I just see him running away with this win over Schultz.
I also got to mention on here in WrestleStat, it says that Greg beat Michael Beard. I think he's from Penn State, maybe.
Yeah,
he did.
He did.
Good for Greg. He's a good wrestler. I'm not.
See, now you're having the finals, huh?
I'm not engaging.
Wait, so that means Bullsack over Beard, Clarion over Penn State. So Clarion's better than Penn State.
Yeah,
I've never lost to anyone from Penn State either.
Have you wrestled anyone from Penn State?
Yeah, I wrestled Nick Lee, and a couple. I wrestled Bo Pfeiffer, however you say it.
Yeah.
A few years ago, and then I actually wrestled. I'm telling you, they got a good freshman in. What is his name? Like Terraclaw or something with a claw in it. Young
Terrell
kid.
Terraclaw.
Yeah, he's tough, dude. It was a close match.
I've rolled with him once or twice before, and he's tough.
He has a
lot of natural talent.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll crack into the lineup or what. You know how freakish their lineup is, but I'm telling you, they got a pretty tough kid in him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, off of the Penn State
They beat
show,
Nick Lee.
Yeah. I did beat him.
So Brock Zacherl is better than Nick Lee. I think that definitely proves the point. Clarion's better than Penn State.
All right.
there you go.
There it is.
Yeah. Oh, last one. Yeah, I got Adams over Schultz. Also, for me, West Virginia was the national champions of the coronavirus. So Adams takes out Schultz. But in the finals, like I said before, I got Colin Moore. I think it's destined to happen. And I want to save Brock's until the end. So, Dysen, what you got?
I just got to mention, me and Brock here in Jefferson County, no cases of coronavirus yet. So I think we're doing a pretty good job.
Dude, Center County has 11 or 12. And the governor's like, all right, now you have to be quarantined for another month. Oh, my gosh. I just want to go outside and see people.
You can go outside. I was outside today.
I can go outside, but I can't see human beings.
Dysen, pick wrestling.
All right.
Sorry. Thank you.
All right. I got Colin Moore over Adams. Moore's, I think, he beats the West Virginia Unicorn. But I have to say, if I would have repicked this bracket, you print out this bracket, you give it to me after the show. Greg Bolstack's the winner.
Oh.
You're easily persuaded, Dysen. You gotta stand by your decisions.
Come on,
No,
man.
I just think the West Virginia Unicorn. I just think he hasn't had the toughest competition this year, and I don't think he's ready. He wasn't ready for the NCAA tournament. Wasn't ready for the tough competition. So I think Greg would have beaten him.
Whatever,
Well, yeah,
Dyson.
you're right there.
All of your brackets have looked just like Brock's. So, you know.
What? You're saying
They
Brock's
have
brackets look bad?
I think he is.
Yeah. Well, all right, Jude.
Dude,
I
why is
think-
Adams winning?
Explain yourself.
I got
Adams
Adams winning because, dude, I've seen no indication that he can't.
Dude.
Have you seen him lose this year? Listen, man, I
So your answer is because why not?
Noah Adams, Unicorn.
Does anyone know how
because why
Adams
not?
is?
Yeah.
Does anyone know how Adams is connected to Penn State?
Does anyone know how I can get Adams on the podcast? Because I want to talk to him about his heck of a season.
Dude, get a hold of
Yeah.
Mitchell Port. That
Yo, I
Belton
will.
connection, dude.
I can do it. I
That's
can
what
do
you
this.
gotta
All
do.
right.
I think that we'd rather interview national champion Greg Bolsack.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get
Yeah,
Greg
you
on
will.
the podcast too.
So, anyway, what everyone wants to hear. Greg is beating Colin Moore in a – I should have went and figured out what the score would have been.
You should just filmed made up a match.
It's going to be a very close match. Moore is not going to take him down. And basically, it's going to be like a 1-point match, riding time kind of thing. I see it going scoreless. Colin Moore defers to us. Greg chooses down. He escapes.
I like how
And
you say
then-
us. Are you in the corner, dude? Are you going to be in his corner?
I would be very close. Not in the corner, but I would have been very close.
He's giving us a sneak peek to next year.
Yeah, exactly. But Moore's graduating, so. But yeah, that's exactly how it would have went, and then he would have either chose down, which would then Greg really beats him up, and if he didn't choose down, then it's going to end 1-0. So, Greg Balzak, national champ. He is so hard for people to take down. He is the strongest dude at 197, and he can do a full split. And he defensively, he's so sound. He scrambles so well for a 197-pound man. And his leg attacks, that's kind of what's made him have more of a breakthrough year this year, is he can take people down. He's got a really, really good outside step and a good low single series. So that with him being so good on top, he's a really special talent.
I don't know about you guys, but if I need a salesman, I think I'm hiring Brock Zacherl to be my salesman.
I went to school for 6 years to be a sleazy salesman. I got my master's in business, but straight.
Awesome.
Have you ever seen Tommy Boy?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people go to school for 7 years. They're called doctors.
I bet Jude and Dysen haven't seen Tommy Boy.
Nope.
Yeah, I knew it.
That's an awesome movie.
Awesome.
But
Great.
all right, so I think that bottom half of that bracket is so wide open that when I first saw your bracket that you sent, I was like, oh, okay, that's funny. Like he's picking his Clarion guy, but like sitting down looking at it, it could happen. I mean,
No,
really,
I seriously meant that.
it's not crazy at all.
I just think the bottom half of the bracket belongs to Greg Bolsack.
The only one that I even feel bad arguing is the Moore one.
Yeah,
and it's just
for
because Moore's so established, But the rest of them, like Greg should have beat Schultz before. They went back and went back and forth. Adams, I'll be honest, I need to watch a little bit more of Adams. I haven't watched him wrestle too much, but
It is
I
a
still
shame
have Greg.
he hasn't-
Oh wait,
he hasn't hit that
West
competition.
Virginia was at the scuffle. Adams was a scuffle champ.
Oh.
Yeah, but Supple was down this year.
Yeah, I'm not sure who he would have wrestled.
Yeah, I don't know who he would have wrestled either.
Yeah, but all right, let's move on to 285. Because if we don't, we might never get there.
Yeah.
So
We'll be talking about Greg Bolsack the rest of our lives.
yes.
Unceasingly.
I mean, guys, is there anybody that you see in this bracket making a final besides Gable and Paris?
Absolutely no.
Not
No.
even close. I think this is the most locked down of a final in the entire thing.
Yeah, I 100%
Yeah.
agree.
And it's not because the field is terrible. There's really great wrestlers. It's just that Paris and Stevenson are so incredible.
Then you got that other like tier with Cassiope, Hall, Stencil, Hilger.
Yeah.
And then even like Thomas and Wood, those 3 through 8 are all real close.
Yeah.
I feel like the top 8 was like pretty separate. I think all of us have the same exact All-Americans, just different order.
Yeah.
So like I think the top 8 people would like. It was pretty easy for me to make the top 8 in this bracket.
Well, hey, then that'll make getting through this bracket a little bit easier. We can just basically say any real upsets we had, because I mean, I'll tell you right now, I had Gable all the way through. I had Paris all the way through.
Wait, hold on, Jude. You didn't have Neville's?
No. It broke my heart, but I couldn't pick Seth Neville's. Did you know one time Seth ran over me in dodgeball? We were playing dodgeball, and he just turned and just
every
washed.
single dodgeball story you have involves you getting beat or beat up on or run over.
I just get switched, man.
That might be a sport you just need to retire from.
I think I take my lumps in dodgeball, that's for sure. But hey, actually, you know what we could do to actually make this go quicker is we could just how about we work backwards from the finals, walk backwards, say who we have, you know, semis, quarters, so on. Then we can, you know, make it go a little quicker. You know, Gable Paris final. We've all, you know, we all expected it. In the semis, I think I'm gonna have Stevenson and Stencil, and Cassiope and Paris. And I think there, I mean, I don't see Gable not losing or not winning. Sorry, I don't see Gable not winning. Like that's I can't visualize it. Whereas, you know, Paris and Cassiope, like obviously Cassiope's an incredibly great wrestler, and that would be one that's a little more prone to an upset. But I'm still going to take Paris here. Tell me, your guys' semis.
Yeah, so my semifinals, you know, Gable, I don't care who else is in that quad up top. Yeah. Gable comes through. And then I got, you know, Mr. AARP card himself, the oldest man in college wrestling history, Tanner Hall, is going to make his way through the Penn Machine, Matt Stencil. You know, Hall was wrestling for Arizona State back when Stencil was in diapers, so it's definitely an easy pick. But
that may actually be true for Cassiope.
Maybe, but down at the bottom, I so desperately wanted to have a gas tank Gary run, but it's just not possible.
So did I.
God, I wanted it so bad. I couldn't do it.
There's no way he gets past fake Tony.
I even tried it. I even tried it on the back, and looking at the back, I have him running into Jordan Wood, and I just couldn't. But I oh man, I wanted it so bad. So
did I.
Yeah, but I got Cassiope Hilger is a really, really good match. And I had to have Cass pulling it out. I feel like Hilger's right there, but just hadn't really been able to punch through and get his signature wins. And so I got Cass, you know, making to the semifinals against Paris. Paris has been dominant the whole year. I mean, I think, in my opinion, and obviously this is coming from a guy that's a big Iowa fan. In my opinion, if Paris beats Gable at Big Tens and then beats Gable at NCAAs, Paris is the Hodge for me. Because he has been absolutely outstanding all year. I mean, he's pretty much pinned everybody they put in front of him.
Wait, OW or Hodge?
Hodge.
There's a difference, right?
No, Hodge.
Oh, he gets Hodge.
I think if Paris had beat Stevenson in the Big Tens and then wins it again in the finals, being undefeated, I think that he has a crazy good case to win the Hodge. I'd
agree.
He wasn't even a Hodge finalist, was he?
Well,
no, because he lost.
Because he lost.
Yeah. But you know, at the end of the day, I'm the only one that didn't pick Gable to win it. I picked Paris, and there's a couple reasons for that. One, when I thought of the match, I kept seeing when they blew it dead when Paris was about to turn him when he ended up like they blew him dead and he like threw him on his back. Obviously that was kind of from it getting blown dead and Gable kind of stopping, but he was in such a good position where that could have happened anyway. Paris is a pinner. Yeah, he is kind of a one-trick pony with that carry. But I've been real high on Paris all year. He's looked just stupid good, been pinning everybody. And the other reason is I'm not a Gable fan, man. I'm just not at all. When I watch the two guys wrestle, every time Paris steps out on the mat, it looks like he's just having fun and just loves to wrestle and compete and be there. And Gable tries to look like he's better than everybody and like has a smirk on his face and like,
dancing and
talking crap. And like, I hate that. I'm sorry. I can't look at that style of, like carrying yourself that way and respect it. And so I had to pick Paris just because of how great he's looked all year. And I love watching the kid wrestle, and it's hard not to pull for a guy that obviously has just a love for the sport that shows every time he goes out there.
Right.
So I got the Wolverine.
I feel you there. I remember watching Stevenson wrestle, but if it might have been Junior Worlds, might have been Cadet Worlds or something. But I can just remember thinking, like, when this guy gets to college, he's the next KO. I didn't think anyone would ever touch him. So tip of the hat to Kassar. But just even this season, I thought he's looked remarkable. I'm always so impressed with his just sheer athleticism. All of his low attacks are so tough to deal with for heavyweights. That being said, I think Paris is an exception. I think he can deal with those low attacks, but I just think Stevenson is so diverse and so good at what he does that I just don't see anyone stopping him.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I have so I don't see Stencil being too much of a challenge for him, and I don't see how do you say that, Dysen? Cassiope. I don't see him being too big of a problem for Paris either. I think those two are just far and wide above the best two at the weight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got Stevenson to win. I think as much as kind of like Jacob said, I don't really like the way he acts, but I think he's just a little bit better than Paris, and he's just very offensive. And well, not that Paris isn't, but I just think he'll be able to get to his offense against Paris. And then moving back to the semis, I got Stevenson over Hall, Paris over Cassiope. Not too big of matches, but that's what I got.
Nice. I mean, is there really what else is there to say about this bracket? I mean, I know for me, I have it pretty much going chalk. I don't know if there's a ton to talk about.
Yeah.
Like those top three, even four guys are all very, they're all very solid. I mean, what else?
I think if you had to pick a bracket buster, for me it's Josh Hokett.
Yeah, I'm a big Hokett fan.
Hokett,
Hokett for Heisman
was
Hokett All-American last year.
Yeah, at 197. So he's 2 years in a row. He's the running back for the Fresno State football team, and so he'll, run the football for half the year and then just put on a singlet and wrestle whatever weight he is.
He's so good, dude.
He AA'd last year and
being All-American and playing
crazy.
Sports. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, and I think that's what made Kassar so good. It's like most of these heavyweights are big dudes, and when you throw a freak athlete in front of them, even though he might not totally be a full-sized heavyweight yet, it is so hard for those guys to keep up with them.
Right.
Yeah. And that's where, I can see, again, I don't see anyone in this bracket even close to making the final besides those two guys. But if you told me Hokett beat Stencil and Hall and made a semifinal, I'm cool with that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I could see that too.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't have much else to say about it.
Awesome. You guys want to read our All-Americans, and then we can call it a show?
Yeah. So I got Cassiope taking third, Tanner Hall taking fourth, Hilger, Wood, Thomas, Stencil. I as far as that goes, I think Paris and Stencil are obviously just a level, if not 2 levels above everybody else. Tier 1's Paris and Stevenson, and then I think Tier 2 by himself is Cassiope, and then the rest of the guys kind of fall under that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. I think Cassiope's got wins over Stencil and Hilger. I think he's on his own tier there in the middle. But I got Stevenson, Paris, Cassiope, Hall, Stencil, Hilger, Thomas Wood.
I got Stevenson, Paris, Cassiope, Stencil, Hall, Hilger, Wood, and Thomas. So literally almost identical to Dysen's, except with a couple of...
It might be the first time we've agreed on something.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I'm pretty sure we all have the same 8 people. They're just in different order.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So I have Stevenson, Paris, Cassiope, Stencil, Wood, Hilliger, Hall, Thomas.
Yeah. Cool. So that pretty much wraps up 285. Before we go, real quick, I have to do it. Where are we at?
Uh-oh. I kind of have a bad feeling about this one.
There it is. Oh.
Hey,
Okay.
top 8. I'll take it at this point.
I don't have Dysens because somebody doesn't like to get their stuff in on time.
Yeah, I would have got some late points on that one.
And I also missed a spot right here. I don't know how I did that. But, okay, so, Brock, who wins this bracket?
Brock Zacherl does.
What do you mean?
Yeah, what is that?
The real question is who's the runner-up?
It goes perfect.
All right,
I go through Tanner Smith. TJ Rochelle coached me last year, so I have the perfect game plan for all the Chattanooga kids. Klodzik's lefty with 1 shot. I'm going to high crotch him all day long. And then I run into Sasso. I'm going to let Sasso take himself down a couple times. And then in the semis, I will probably have I bet I'd have Lee, but I'd rather wrestle O'Connor. Okay. So I like the way O'Connor's wrestling this year. He's taking a lot of fakes and stuff, and I'm quicker than him. I'm White Lightning, so I'll be in on his legs all day in the finals against. I'd love to have that Mahler rematch. So then,
who do you think gets to the finals against you, Luga or Mahler, or anyone else?
See, it's tough to pick against Luga at this point, especially after. But I've never wrestled him, so it's hard for me to tell really what level he's at. I'd be interesting to see that semis. I do think Mahler's going to be in that semis, but that match at the MAC, man, I blew it. I feel like I beat him up that whole match, and it was definitely a tough match for him, and I know that he would not be thrilled to run into me in the final. I don't think so. I was on his legs all day, just got lazy.
Yeah, so I will say 100%. In my when I was picking it, that you and Kolodzik, I was like, I sat there forever thinking about it, and I just I don't know, but I will say 100%. If I had you and Sasso, I'm picking you over Sasso because I'm not high on him, man. I don't get why everybody is so high. I don't.
Well, I think
I liked how you said
he's a good matchup for me. Yeah, people that wrestle crazy like that, for me, like a lot of my shots are straight in. It's no secret I wrestle a lot from open. When people wrestle that wide open style, I just stay patient, and they always take themselves down. And then once you got that lead, they got to chase you. So it gets easier and easier and easier every time. And his great single defense, because that's my number one shot. I know how to beat it. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say how, because it's really important against the Yanni matches and other stuff like that. So, but I know exactly how to beat it. And Klodzik in the past, I will say right now, I was not ready to beat him. Lefties were such a big. I really struggled against him, but my high crotch is one of my best shots now. So I'm fully prepared for that match too, I think.
Okay, what the hell? I'm an idiot. I just literally told you that I would pick you over Sasso, and then under my AAs, I have
I didn't even see that.
Oh my god! I don't know why.
100%.
Dude, I don't know why. Because I 100% will pick it the other way. I don't know what else.
I will say right now that I think like I've said it a lot through this podcast. I think Sasso is the best wrestler at this weight, but
Really,
unfortunately, the best wrestler doesn't usually win, or doesn't always win, I should say.
So-
Usually they do.
out of everybody in this weight that you've wrestled, who's the toughest dude to wrestle?
Dude, Brayton Lee, man, that kid is a grinder, man.
Really?
He's so good at what he, like I said it before. The people that have a game plan, I think, are always the people that are a problem. And the reason is they're consistent, because when things go wrong, they know this is where I'm good. I'm getting back to here, so that they have a way out. Whereas, like, I don't want to say, we'll say Sasso, but I don't think he's necessarily a good example, because he's pretty good with his underhook series and stuff, and he's consistent with it. But someone that wrestles wide open, when crap hits the fan, they get like flustered and don't really know where to go back to, because they don't really know where they're best. So I think that's what gives Lee is such a great edge. Is he's just constantly in your face, pulling on you, beating you, no space. And after that match, like, I'm so good at keeping space. I really struggled against him to keep space.
Did you wrestle him at? Did you wrestle him at Las Vegas this year?
Yeah, he kind of beat me up though. And after watching the match, there's a lot of adjustments, and I think he hit me with a go behind early. I was kind of the first 2 minutes, I was really kind of beating him up, and was in on 2 shots, didn't finish them. One of them was really bad. I should have finished it, and then he hit me with a go behind, and it kind of scared me a little bit, and I stopped taking those risks, and I started wrestling from way too far away. And especially for me, whenever I do that, it's not good, especially against a go behind guy. You shoot from too far out, everything gets easier for him. So I wish I wouldn't have made that dumb mistake, but live and learn.
Yeah. So one more question. In your career, who's the hardest guy you've ever wrestled?
Well, I got 2. So in college, it was Michael Jordan, and it was such a weird feeling. I felt like it's very similar to Sasso. I thought, or no, not Sasso. Forget that. But I figured, I was like, his single, I thought he could never take me down with it, because it looked kind of like a lazy man single, I guess. I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah.
He didn't like blow through you. It was always kind of low and like very it's kind of sluggish is what I thought. But dude, he took me down with that single all day long, and it was honestly, he could have teched me if he wanted to. I don't know. I know what mistake I was making now, but at the time, man, I just had no clue what I was doing wrong. And then in high school, it's Jason Wolf in the Super 32 finals. That's the feeling I've never had in my entire life. He started close first period, and he started pouring it on me, and then late in the second, I looked at my coaches, and I'm not kidding you guys. I wanted them to say, like, "Hey, let's get out of here, throw in the towel." And if we would have walked off the mat, I would have went with him. Like,
oh my
I was
gosh.
getting beat up that bad.
I have a question. So here, I've never actually talked to anyone who said this, but like, was he doing overtime snaps then? Was that a thing that he was doing? Because like
he was doing everything. I don't remember him, and I don't really tie up with people much, especially in high school too. So he probably was doing that to me, but he was just, dude, anything under the sun. He was shrugging me, which is crazy. He was snap spin, just anything he wanted to do, he was doing.
Because it's crazy. Because like I remember like in college, I would watch him wrestle just really strong kids. And like one hand, like his left arm, he'd drape it over the top, and he'd step, and he'd snap their nose into the ground. And you're like, how? How do you do that? Oh my gosh.
I definitely had one match, like you just said, how you said you looked at your coaches and was like, just get out of here. I remember one the whole time. I was the summer after 8th grade, and I would go, freestyle Greco tournaments every Saturday, and I would do 2 weight classes, and I would do like as much as I could. And so I did, technically I'm a schoolboy at that point, and I did cadet and junior, right? And so I would go wrestle cadet and junior, and I would wrestle like I weighed 52. I would wrestle 52 and 60. And so I was wrestling freestyle 60 at junior, and I'm an 8th grader. And I made the finals, and the kid that I had in the finals, I literally I'd watched him wrestle for the last couple weekends, and we just never were in the same bracket. And he was from Tennessee, and he was either a junior or a senior, and he was like a multiple-time state champ. And I remember making the finals, and after I told my dad, I was like, all right, let's just go home. I don't want to. And he
was like, boy at that point.
Yeah. What the hell are you talking about? We're staying. We're wrestling this guy. He's like, even if you lose, you got to get your medal. I was like, I don't want it. Let's go home. I don't care. And so
is that guy wrestling in college now?
I don't know. I completely lost track of it. But I don't even remember what his name was. But he 5'd me 2 times in 30 seconds.
Oh no!
And,
oh no!
Yeah. It was really bad. I was feeling good because, I was a young kid and I was doing well. And then I make the finals and just got 5 twice in 30 seconds. It's like, okay, yep, let's go home. Hope I never have to wrestle that guy again.
Man.
Hey,
guys. Wow. What good stories. Hey, I think this recording has been going on long enough, and we'll still decide whether we want to post this as 1 or 2 interviews or two recordings. But to our listeners who made it all the way through, thank you so much for listening to another episode of the HMA Fantasy Podcast, because this is what this is. This is all fantasy. But thank you to Jake Hewgley, who we trust a whole lot to run this side of the podcast. He does a lot of great stuff for us, including articles and things like that. Thank you to Dysen, our buddy with PA Power Podcast, PA Power Wrestling. And thank you to Brock Zacherl, who just tweeted at us. He's like, let me come on your podcast. And we're like, okay.
No, I tweeted him.
Yeah.
I definitely
because I was doing Jacob and Sam's argument about pitch glory, and then just after the conversation's over, Jacob just hey, Brock Zacherl, want to join the pod, be our guest picker? And then I sent a screenshot to Brock, and I texted him. I was like, you want to come on? He's
man.
Heck yeah, let's do it. What time?
Yeah, well, I'm just sitting there arguing with Sam, and Brock comments. I was like, well, you want to do it too? Why not? It's just me and Dysen talking to each other. I feel like a loser.
Well, hey,
this is fun, guys. Seriously, I'm glad. I was happy to be a part of it. This is fun.
Brock, have you ever been on a podcast before?
I have. I've done a lot. I love camera time, man. Love it.
Isn't it fun? It's fun stuff.
It's fun.
Especially me and Dysen are both kids, and we're still trying to figure it out for ourselves. But I don't know. It's fun stuff. So, all right. And I think with that, Jacob, you can feel free to end the recording, and we will get this slapped up as soon as possible. Thank you guys so much for listening.